What's up YouTube, Frayed Hero here, gonna deck profile my Shadow Paladins. I guess I'll just start with my starter. I'm running David right now, deciding to go against the Judge Bell build to see how this goes. It's been working alright, since you actually do have more targets for a skill like David, but if you can get them off, it's great. I'll be honest though, this deck has had testing, but it definitely needs a lot more to fine-tuning, but this is my build as of now. Triggers, 4 heals, 3 draw, or sorry, not 8 crit, or sorry, not 8. I'm totally out of it right now. 9 crit, and then 3 draw. Grade 1s. I'm running 2 Dark Heart Trumpeters. Since I'm not running Sword Breakers, I can use this as my soul cost. If I managed to even fit Swordbreaker in this deck, I would not even have the soul. I run out of soul very quickly since David does not go into soul. That's one less target, so you do have to manage your soul. But the plus thing with the Dark Heart is great. And then I run 2 Charons. If you guys see the Japanese builds, they actually run a lot more Charons and or Trumpeters. But I feel like you don't need that many, even if you are going for like Diablo plays and stuff, since your deck can call out what you need. And then I'm running 2 Stride Enablers. It helps if you don't have like Blast of Dark Diablo. It helps you get your discards out for striding. And then this is where it gets a little shady, because there's only 4 Revenger grade 1s in this deck, which is actually kind of the norm in Japan. It just varies. Usually they don't run Dorns at all and they just run Masquerades. But I'm liking the build right now, but this is all subject to change. I know it's pretty surprising that there's only 4 Revenger names. And yes, there are times where I do actually end up in awkward positions where I can't use skill with Abyss. Yeah, 4G perfect guards, that also adds to the issue, which is why you could completely forego the Blast of Dark Dorrance if you really wanted to. But I like the Blast of Dark Dorrance because they're good early game, especially if you play against people who like to Greylock themselves, because that is a legit strategy. So then you have 4 Blast of Dark Revenger Abysses for the early game, and because he's your mate, can't get wrong with running that many of them. And then the 4 Blast of Dark Revengers. Like I mentioned, he's there because he's good early game. He can technically unflip damage with the Dorant, and he is a Revenger name. That's kind of the important part. Japan actually runs 4 Macards over this, but Macard is a complete vanilla until you Legion. And the fact that they still also run low amounts of targets, I don't see the need for it. And then 3 Dark Knight Maiden, Dark Knight Maiden Makas. Basically, she's there because she can fill your board for cheap cost with calling of grade 1s. She's an overall good card, especially for the mirror match, because she helps you get back a field after you sack them. And then on to the grade 3s. 4 Abyss. It's kind of self-explanatory. It's just like the best ace that Shadow Paladins have right now. 3 Blast of Dark Diablos. He's there because of his on-stride skill and his G-BT03, because you can literally stride with anything, which does come in handy if you can't top deck a 3 or like stride fodder. And I'm running currently the 1 Claret Sword. The one time I really got to use him, it did put in some work. It actually, like, I was so low on cards, I was forced to ride this, stride paying a Diablo, and then use his counterblast to call a Dark Heart, use Dark Heart skill to call a Charon, and that gave me literally the 3 units I needed to sack with for Diablo. So I don't know. It's a situational card. You really shouldn't be going into it because it's not a blaster. But there are the situations where it does have its uses. And the fact that you can search it out with the Stride Enabler, and then thin your deck of a 3. And then onto my G-Zone. I run one Grim Recruiter, one Madhu because you Legion and Madhu can get you stride fodder and stuff, or like a Blaster Dark Diablo for late game, so you can stride into the other Diablo. But yeah, two Aura Geysers. It's there to combo with David usually early game. Helps you get to G-BT03 to set up for Diablo. It also should hopefully let you dig through your deck, maybe get perfect guards or something. Since you're technically checking 5 on your stride turn, you get the 2 to your hand and then the 3 drive checks. He hasn't worked amazingly for me yet, but all in all, it's a decent card. Does set you up early game. And then the 4 Blaster Dark Diablos, because he's the main focus of this deck, not so much the Abyss, which is why there's very few Revenger names. You usually only want Abyss once if you run out of Diablos. That's basically what the game plan strategy of this deck is, so that you should be ending them with a Diablo. And that should be the deck. Everything is subject to change because Shadow Paladins are a little wonky right now. They have a lot of techs. They have a lot of different ways to run the one deck. So I'm trying to work on what works best for me. And that's the video. See you guys.